Hey ladies, and welcome back to the Christian Vibe Live. I'm Nnalue Ifeoma, your host for today. The Christian Girl Vibe Live is a podcast where we come together as Christian ladies to air our journey, like our struggles, our victories, and also help one another. You and I have the same struggle every normal girl on earth have, but the difference is in the way with which we react to them. And if we do not know better, we won't be able to do better. And this is why the Christian Girl Vibe Live is here, being sponsored by the PRUNED, which is a femininity coaching program where we help you to reclaim and regain your femininity and get pruned into your best version, the best version of yourself, using our 3-step secrets: the femininity power, relationship power, and cash flow power. And trust me, girl, on the earth we live today, you need all of these things to live a perfect life, not a perfect life, to live a balanced life and enhance the quality of life you live on earth. And today, and today we'll be discussing love. There are ladies who are back home and really want to japa. I won't say japa like, but it's japa. Like maybe you just want to relocate abroad and you're a single sister and you're not sure if you're going to meet your Boaz there. And you're kind of scared that maybe if you leave, it's going to be hard for you to navigate the entire new system, and you're not even sure. Or maybe you're here and you specifically want to come to China and you're thinking, so how do I go about this? Do I break up with my bro back home? Do I get married first of all before I come? Am I going to find love, or am I going to be single pringle forever until Jesus comes to take us home? Today you'll be receiving a lot of answers. And for today's podcast, I have no other perfect person to do this except Mrs. Gloria Ifeoma AJ. And ladies, let's make welcome our guest for today, Mrs. Gloria Ifeoma AJ. If you are in this comment section, begin to clap right now. And do not forget to keep sharing and sharing and sharing. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to the Christian Girl Vibe Live. It's such a pleasure to have you on here. How are you doing now?
Hi, Ifeoma, my namesake actually.
Yeah, it's true.
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm really thrilled to be here. Honestly, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, oh. And I know, one of the things I really enjoy about you is the fact that you are a multi-woman. In as much as, like, despite the fact that you're married, you're still a student and you have a baby, you're still a businesswoman, you're still doing so much. But before we go further, let me just share a little bit of what Mrs. not say Miss, what Mrs. Gloria does. Mrs. Gloria is a PhD student. Like, it's not easy to be a PhD student. I know what it took me, like, to finish my thesis. I wanted to cry. Talk more of someone still, keep climbing the ladder to the PhD level, which is not an easy task. And still at the same time, she's married to her sweet husband and she has a baby, and she also is a business owner at Surprise. Tell us a little bit more about Surprise, please.
Okay, sure. So I started a business here in China a couple of months ago. It's called Glow Surprise, Glow_underscore Surprise on Instagram and Facebook. And it's just a surprise company that helps surprise people. When your loved one is celebrating their birthday, or you want to propose to someone, or you just want to surprise the person you love, right? We can put together something nice, deliver it to the person's doorstep, and be like, hello, for like surprise from so and so person. It's just a way of making people feel loved on their special day and things like that. So yeah,
Mm,
that's basically what we do.
that's awesome. And you're a YouTuber as well. Now let me ask you, my husband's birthday is coming up and you're not in my city. So is it still possible for you to, like,
It,
send this surprise to
it's
us?
possible. It's possible. We can arrange it.
Okay, I just hope this guy does not see this part of it because I want to surprise him, and I'm already spilling the entire surprise thing. Oh, it's well. And you run a YouTube channel. Tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I started YouTube in 2020. Yeah, 2021 actually. Or yeah, 2020, late 2020. At first I was just vlogging about my life in China, as a master's student. I mean, COVID was happening, so almost everybody was doing YouTube. But after I had my baby, like I was pregnant in China and then I gave birth, I realized that there was actually a need to vlog about life in China as someone, a mother actually, or my pregnancy journey in China, because I was, at the time when I was pregnant, I was on YouTube looking for materials or videos that would at least give me an idea what it's like being pregnant in China, and I could find none. So I decided to document my experiences. I shared about my pregnancy journey, having my baby, and now raising my family in China, as a matter of fact. And a lot of people have reached out to me through those videos, and it has touched so many lives, and I'm really grateful to God God that, I was able to channel my experiences in that way. So that's what I blog about these days.
And that is powerful because honestly, when you go to YouTube, because of where we are, you and I know the country that we are inside of. So because of where we are, not everyone, not a lot of persons are able to document some of these sensitive and very important aspects of life. Of course, we have a lot of people documenting their lifestyle, every day in China. But when it comes to getting married in China, having a baby in China, these things are things you rarely find a video online. But I'm glad that at least you came up and someone can easily click on, like type something on YouTube and it leads them directly to your video. So that's powerful. Now, what year did you even come to China, Seth?
I came to China in 2019.
Oh yeah, that's powerful. Okay. So let's begin to enter inside love small small. When you did you meet your husband here or you met him back home in Nigeria?
Yeah,
And
that's
wait first, is your husband Nigeria? I know what these people, these sisters want to know.
yeah. Yeah, I understand. He's Nigerian. He's from Delta State. So he's an Urobo man.
Awesome. And you
Yes.
guys met here or back home?
We did. We met here in China, which is something a lot of people find hard to believe, honestly. They're just
Because
like,
love in China, my sister, it is hard to find true love in China. Hmm. You people should not even push me, Seth. Don't push me to like start opening some boxes. It is really hard to find true love in China. And sometimes maybe except maybe in your fellowship, even in the fellowship self, some people say go, you see this one, he's handsome, but there's nothing inside. You see this one, he has money, he doesn't have God. You see this one, he let me not go inside. My sister, so tell us, please. So you met him in China?
yeah, we met in China. We were both students at my school here in Nanjing. Yeah, he was doing his PhD. I was doing my master's.
Same church?
Yeah, we used to go to the same church. But funny thing is,
And you're fellowshipping and you're serving in the
you
hosha.
know,
And, oh,
you
okay.
know, you see, the thing was right because we came 2019. COVID happened like immediately.
Yes.
So when we used to go to physical church, we didn't know ourselves, right? But it was after we got talking that he was like, "Oh, I was in that service. I was in the all night. I was in the, And we realized that we had been going to the same church, but we never knew each other in church. And then COVID happened, church went online. So it's not like we had physical interactions in church. So our physical interaction was mostly from the Nigerian community here in Nanjing. We have the Association of Nigerians in Nanjing.
Oh.
I was the vice president at the time, and he was the general secretary,
Mm.
right? So Nigerian activities, and because it's fun that we're in the same school, was kind of what brought us together.
So during those meetings, let's pray in the Lord, while we were praying, brother was busy looking, opening the eyes of his understanding inside the Zoom meeting to see the sister. Well, when I hear beautiful love stories, it's usually make me happy because especially when they are kingdom based. Yeah, it sounds all those ones I'll say, oh, I met her in one night stand. Well, I'm not here to judge anybody, but girl, if you are a child of God and you know where you're going in life, let's not even go further into that. Now, let's touch this aspect. What were the challenges like you faced? Because I know that as a lifestyle coach myself, I've had clients who came on the program and they're currently in China. Some had serious relationship going on along the line. Things went south and they broke up. Some, were deceived. Some thought, okay, that they were together with this person, not knowing that this person was not dating just them and they're also dating someone else. Even some of these people are shush people. So I wanted to know, like, how did you confirm, one, that he was the one for you? Secondly, what were the challenges you faced, like trying to before a woman says yes to a brother, especially a lady, a visionary lady like you, before you say yes to a brother, there must be something that convinced you beyond reasonable doubt that this person is actually the man for me. So, and with what we see in this country, what will you say was what will you say was the thing that gave you that aha moment and that peace you wanted? And secondly, what were the challenges you faced accepting his proposal and going down to the wedding? I hope you got the question. I don't confuse
Yes, I'll try. Yeah, I think I got it.
you. Yeah.
Okay. So to be honest, I've also like heard a lot of stories about how difficult it is to find love in China and things like that. And one thing I always tell people is, for me, I feel like that there are certain principles when it comes to finding love or finding someone to marry or someone to be with. And I feel like whether it's China, Jamaica, Nigeria, Madagascar, most of the times those principles are the same. So it's a thing of you find someone or you see someone that you like, right? And you feel like, okay, I have a future with this person, or we have something that can work out.
Is
And
it a
then you
feeling
just,
or a knowing?
at first it might be a feeling, because
Okay.
my husband and I, we started out as friends, right? We were friends for a very long time, before we had anything serious. So I'm a big advocate of friendship. Be friends with a person. Don't always rush to become an item. You don't always have to. You can be friends with somebody without labeling yourselves a couple. And when you're friends with that person, there's an opportunity for you to study the person, know everything that you need to know about the person, know if this person is really the one for you, or someone that you can spend the rest of your life with. Now there's a thing where it's like when you're friends with the person, you're not per se praying that, oh, this person will be my husband, or seeing the person as your husband, but you know about the person. This person is a good person. This person has a vision. This person is kind, because maybe in certain situations of that involves other people as well, you've seen the person, offer to serve, or you've seen the person, you know that, oh, this person is a good person. You're not looking at him as your husband, but you know that he's a good person. Of course, when you get closer, you can find out other things about the person. But I feel like that time of friendship is like very important. So don't try not to itemize yourself very quickly when you see someone that you like. Now, for us, it was a thing of we knew each other. Like I said, then we were serving in the Nigerian community together, and I had just been noticing him, and I knew that this person was a good person. So now when we started becoming close, and he started toasting me and things like that, I had to go to God. And I've got asked this question a couple of times, and I'm like, if you're not a Christian, what I'm saying might be difficult for you to understand, because God was literally the one that told me to marry my husband. God, like, he just told me pop and plain, right? When I was in the university, my mentor taught me something like about finding a partner. If there was someone that I was going out with, I'll tell him, oh, I want to know if this is the person that God wants me to marry. And he was like, write your name and the person's name on a piece of paper, right, and put it in your Bible and pray on it every day, like every single day. You're not praying that, God, this person should be my husband. You're praying that, God, is this person my husband? Right? So every day after your morning devotion, you open that place that you wrote your post name and you pray on it. So this is something that I've always been doing right from school days, right? So even when here in China, when it came to finding out, oh, if this was the person God wanted me to marry, I did the same thing. As a matter of fact, our names are still in that Bible till today. Because I opened it the other day and I was just like, are you serious? And this thing happened like how many years ago? But I did that, and I was praying with those names for a long time. And then one day, God showed me a dream, because God speaks to me a lot through my dreams.
And
And
it is powerful. Sorry, it's powerful. Every sister who is watching this, you should find out how God speaks to you, even long before marriage comes. It's not when you're about getting married, like, Father, show me. Satan will show you something else. So it's powerful. We find out how God speaks to us. Please go on.
yes, so I'm someone that God speaks to me through my dreams a lot, even like concerning my past relationship, which is something I've not actually brought to social media before. God also literally told me to, let go of the relationship through a couple of. In fact, at the point, it had to be a battle, because it was as if the dreams were not even enough. God literally had to pull me out of that situation. You get. So even when I was, and it's very funny, because my husband that I married now, all through the time that we were dating, I never dreamt about him.
Oh.
I never dreamt about him until the day God showed him to me. But the person I was dating previously, like even in Nigeria before I came to China, I was always dreaming about that person. Like almost every night. So when that particular night I prayed a prayer and I was like, God, if this person you are bringing my way is my husband, let me see him in my dream this night. Knowing that I had never dreamt about him before, the chances of dreaming about him were like 0.00.
Slim.
So that night I dreamt and I saw him in my dream. And in that dream, he came and he gave me something to eat. I don't know if it was bread or something, but he just came and he gave me something. And I was like, and when I woke up in the morning, I was so shook, because I was like, hey, when you pray a prayer, but you're not sure if God will really, I was so shook, and there were so many other things God said God did to confirm. God confirmed it through His Word. I have some certain scriptures that God gave me about marrying my husband, which I may not share now because it
No,
takes time.
it's fine. Yeah.
Yes, so God confirmed it to me through my dream, through the scriptures and just peace of mind as well, which is something that is very important to know the will of God. So that was how I knew he was the one.
That's powerful because I think I have not so similar, let's say to an extent, a similar scenario with you when it comes to the man I was going to get married to. Like I never had the brothers who were in my life before. I never saw them in my dream, and the time I saw them in my dream was like either there was a battle, there was a court, there was something, there was just something which I hardly saw them anyways. But when it came to my husband, girl, in the first place, anyways, he was not really like the spec I was looking at. For real. And like a whole lot was just in there. He was not really like, I was looking like someone, I was looking for a brother who is taller than I, although I'm taller, I was looking for a brother who is taller than I am, so that when I want to kiss him, I can raise my head like this. But the Lord saw that this sister is Hannah. I need to give her one of my choicest son. And I'm really sincerely grateful to God that, I ended up getting married to my husband, and it's been beautiful all this while. Honestly, it's been beautiful. So thank you so much for like really buttressing on that. Now, what was the challenge, like the main challenge you would say that you guys faced when you're about to get married in China?
Getting married in China. Okay, so we got married during COVID, right? And I feel like that was like the
That
biggest
was that was 2020, 2020.
21.
We all got married the same year. I got married in February. You got married
Oh,
in April, right?
April.
Or
Yes,
April.
April. Yes. So it's like I feel like the challenge was a thing of, although then COVID was, it was getting a bit better, but it wasn't completely better. Like
Yeah.
okay, so his borders were not open, so my parents they couldn't come. I had like almost zero family member except my friends who we came to China together from Nigeria with, and I really appreciate them. Like they were there for me, right? They were like my bridesmaids and things like that. So I was able to still
You
have.
even had bridesmaid. I was only me one that came.
Only you waka
Only me
come.
waka.
Ah, my dear, it wasn't easy, oh, but just I just thank God because, and that is also another testimony that when God is in something, or when God has asked, like when God is one leading you to do something, He will make a way. Like He will just clear
Preach
ways
it,
for you.
sister. That's the truth. Honestly.
Honestly, so then we had the challenge of, I think finances was one of our challenge, but eventually God, like the way God did it is like after the wedding we had surplus.
Hmm.
We had, for real, like during the period of, I think from like January to like that April, the kind of money that was entering our hand, like we don't
Yeah.
even know where the money was coming from. And so we're getting or doing wedding expenses and things like that, and it was just God, honestly. And even after the wedding, we were not for one day uncomfortable. In fact, after the wedding, we still had like a lot of money that even people gave us when they came for our wedding. So it was just, I'm just really grateful to God because all the things that we were thinking would go wrong did not, honestly. So God
Honestly.
just really made it a smooth sailing for us getting married here in China.
We really thank God for that because I think we experienced similar thing during our own time of wedding. Although they were like, no room should contain more than 50 people, the restrictions at that time. But we were shocked and we were even preparing, like for 30 people. Girl, we had over 150 persons come for our wedding. We're like, where did these people come from? And they really shake body. You get what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah,
really
yeah,
everyone had a good time. So and that is beautiful. Now, COVID has come and will I say gone? It has,
yeah,
it will not really go in this country. So you still have to put on your kojao.
yeah.
Kojao means your nose mask. Now, what does it feel like studying and having a baby? The thought of it, that because I know that before I go on, please, for those who are still watching us, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share this video, like, invite other people. You're not inviting them to come and see Nnalue, Ifeoma and Gloria. No, girl, you are trying to spread this to other ladies so that they would also, be blessed by it. This you might be an answer to someone who has questions regarding, traveling abroad and maybe even coming to China specifically. Now, I know that we live in a country where, for everyone who is watching this, we live in a country where, I don't know of the future, but as of today, there is nothing like citizenship for your baby once you give birth, like the US or Canada, where you say you go and once you give birth there, your child is automatically a citizen of that country. It's not same here. And when it comes to this country, students are not legally permitted to work. Even if they tell you, oh, now they've started allowing students to work, but the truth is, most schools will not allow you to work. I know what I'm saying, speaking from experience. So we know this, some of the challenges we face here in this country, but if the Lord is sending you to this place, he is still going to be with you regardless, and you're going to eat the fruits of the land. So having a baby, because for some persons now, Gloria, some persons will think that, oh, this is kind of weird, like people travel abroad and they have babies. Of course, people travel abroad and they have babies, but even in China here, but when it comes to China, you just have to be sure that you are ready to face what comes with it. That's just the truth. So let me ask you, what does it feel like having a baby and still pursuing your academics? And did you face challenges from your school? Because some schools, there's someone I know that her school asked her to go back home. No, two people actually. The schools asked them to go back home because they were pregnant and they had a baby here in China. So what does it feel like? Like, just us.
So it's funny because I think a few days ago I made a video about this on my WeChat channel, and I was
Yeah.
telling people if you're a student here in China and you're not married, just don't get pregnant, okay? Just try your best not to get pregnant because it's not funny right here around here. Okay, so I had my baby 2021, right? And was it 20? Yeah, 2021. And during that time I was finishing my masters. I had finished with my classes and everything. In fact, because of that, I had to take like an extra year for my masters. So I, instead of finishing my masters in 2 years, I finished my masters in 3 years, right? And it wasn't easy, to be honest, but it's something that is doable. I mean, like there's this what's her name, Maisley. Do you know Maisley? The she's a content creator and she's married to an Asian. She got her
Oh
PhD
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah. Maisley.
yeah, yeah. So
The lady that married the Korean guy, right?
yeah,
That has so many babies.
yes, she has so many children, and she got
Honestly,
the back the PhD in mathematics,
I saw that
distinction.
video.
So it's like, oh, these things are doable. Like sometimes you don't even know how much capacity you have until you are faced with the circumstance, right? So whilst I will not really advise you to, go ahead and start having a child while you're studying here, especially if you're not married. If you're someone who is married and you feel like you want to start your family and you're still studying, I would also say it's very possible because I'm doing it. A lot of people I know are doing it. You just have to make sure that, number one, like I said, you're married. Because if worse comes to worse and maybe your school decides, oh, they don't want to give you visa anymore, you can always, yeah, your spouse can always give you visa from their school. So here in China, it's a very precarious situation, so you just have to be careful. Some schools will actually not mind if you're married and you get pregnant, they will just continue giving you your visa. You have your baby, just try to make sure that your baby does not affect your studies or the work that you're doing. That's their own. But for some schools, especially if you're on a scholarship, as a matter of fact, recently I learned that there are some scholarships that a clause says if you get pregnant during the duration of your study, your scholarship will be cancelled and you'll be sent back home. Honestly, someone sent me a screenshot of like what it is. It's in her scholarship information.
Yeah.
She's not yet in China, but she already got pregnant, so she's asking me what she should do and things like that. And I'm like, I had no idea that this was a thing.
Um,
So I would advise if you're not ready, okay, just don't try it. Just study in peace and move on to other things. But as a mom and as a PhD student, as with all the things I'm doing in my life, I just try my best to find balance. Right. I'm also a content creator, and that one is also like it takes a huge chunk of
my
my
sister.
time as well.
And after everything, only you and your family members will be watching it. Hey God, we have seen
you know,
something in this content creation world, but
you know, but we have to do it because
I
some
love
of
your
the things,
consistency. You're more
my
consistent than
dear,
I am, honestly.
some of these things that we do, it's sometimes it's or I don't know for other people. For me, it was a message. I had to, it was an instruction rather. So I had to make those videos. So even when it's like I'm not getting results, I still just have to keep at it, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that is doable. You just have to find balance, find a way to, give to each part of your life. And not, it doesn't mean that everything is going to be perfect. You're always going to be at your A game at all times. I mean, there are times when maybe I'm having class and my baby is crying, or maybe I have a presentation. It's like it's just haywire, right? So, and even I mean, when I got my PhD, like my professor, when I told him I had a baby, he at the point he almost didn't even want to accept me because he's like, all these people with children now, you people will not be serious. I don't want to come and but I told him that I will put in my best, that that I believe that I can do it, that and he was like, okay, that he let him just trust me. So I really have to show up as it is right now. I can't let the man down.
Oh
So I
dear.
just try my best, honestly.
Wow. Ooh, Michelle, it's been it's been a swell time, and you opening the eyes of understanding, like digging deeper into this aspect of getting pregnant in China, and raising a baby, and also catering for your family and doing your business, and the rest of that is really I'm sure it leaves a lot of persons watching us right now in awe, in is it awe, I mean awe, in awe, oh, I in awe of you, yeah, in awe, it's in awe. It's well, it's not really very easy, but it's like you said something that really stood out for me. You said it's doable. It's doable. And it's something I also want to add to it. Like when God tells you to do something, just start doing it. He will beautify it along the line. Start small with whatever you have, and he's going to beautify it along the line. Now, what is your advice for people, especially sisters who are planning on, marrying a non-Christian? Because I know it is not, while you're dating your man, while we were dating our men, the way they checked us, they wooed us, they were appearing romantic. I don't know if my husband is very romantic, but my own, God is still helping us. So the way they wooed us and all of those things, and you're thinking, oh my God, when we finally get married, that this is just how it's going to be. He's going to still keep being firebrand. He's going to keep being romantic. He's going to be there financially. He's going to, show me all of these things. And when you finally get married, 1 or 2 months, everybody's going to relax their guard, whether you like it or not. That's the truth. Everybody's going to relax their guard, except we both, the people involved choose to, go back to what they were doing even before they got married. Now, there are people, what if this person is not a child of God? There are so many stories, cases on the table that we'll still be dealing on this channel. What if this person does not really love the Lord and fear God, and you finally get married to this person, and this person is not even a child of God? What are your advice? Like, what's your sincere advice? Mind you, this podcast is actually for the Christian sisters. So if there's anyone here who is not a Christian, before you try to point fingers at us, try to understand that you purposely came on this platform that was meant for the Christian girls. So you might want to be open-minded to learn from this. So Gloria, what's your advice for someone who is a Christian lady who has intentions of marrying a non-Christian, or an atheist, or someone from other religions?
Oh, okay. I think I missed up the question at the point. Are you asking someone who is like planning to, or someone who has already?
No, not someone who has married, though. Someone who is planning to. Let's say they are still at the. Maybe they've
Okay.
even engaged. Yeah, or maybe he's still dating her. What's your advice for the person? Because you are already inside the hood. So now you're telling those who are outside the hood. So what's your advice for such a person?
To be honest, when I told you that God gave me some scriptures about when I was asking him about getting married to my husband. One
Yeah.
of those scriptures is actually, I can't remember the book right now, but the scripture is, you don't, okay, I'm paraphrasing, you don't put new wine in an old wineskin. Right? The
Yeah.
same way you don't sew old cloth on new cloth, something of that nature.
Yeah, I
And
think I remember I have that on my just go on. I have that on my the one of the not carousels, one of the posts I made recently. Go
okay,
on, please.
okay. So it's a thing of, light and darkness cannot mix, no matter how much you try to force it. So if you're a true Christian, right? I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
attraction.
Sorry. That's in Matthew 9:17. Matthew
Okay,
9:17.
okay, amazing. Matthew 9:17. So you guys can go and read it later on, just
Mm.
read down, yes. So I I don't know. I feel like this is something that it seems like it should be plain, like common sense. Let me put it that way. But I know that sometimes it can be trickish, right? And we get ourselves in unequally yoked situation. To be honest, I was once in an unequally yoked relationship at a point in my life, and when they are saying it, when they are preaching it, in theory, it sounds nice, but when you're in it, when they tell you that it's easier for someone who is down to pull you that is up down than for you who is up to pull the
To put.
person, believe it. Anybody that say it to you, don't feel that the person is trying to sound too. It's true. I was in an unequally yoked relationship for years, and I kept telling myself, "Oh, I've been sent. I'm on an assignment in this guy's life." I kept praying for him, and to be honest, now that person is actually doing very well spiritually. As a matter of fact, yes.
That's
So
all.
I believe that those prayers that I used to pray for him actually worked. Like God was actually using those prayers, but I didn't need to put myself in the situation that I put myself to be praying for him and to be helping him and things like that. So it was that point in my life was I was a mess, right? I was a mess. I was on Sunday, I'm like, Father, I love you. I'm crying, I'm on the floor. After Sunday, Monday to Saturday, Monday to Saturday, I'm doing wibbly, wobbly, wibbly, wobbly in my Christian walk with God, right? And why? Because I was in an unequally yoked relationship. So if you search yourself deep down, you know that when you're with this person, something is not right, something is not clicking. No matter how much you are attracted to the person, if you're a true Christian, the Spirit of God in you knows that this thing is not really working, right? So the truth is, as you're saving yourself distress, you're saving the person distress as well. People, I keep saying it, if you're a Christian, go for a Christian. If you're a lukewarm Christian, go for a lukewarm Christian. Yes, everybody should marry their time. That's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Honestly, it saves the other person, like the stress. Don't make someone a victim. You cannot
Yes,
be a gingerbread sister firing in the Lord and go and marry one brother that is all he's all concerned about is making money. Although he say I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian.
yes,
After you get married, you have
yes.
to. You will see the conflict inside the home.
You will because it will. You guys will never be on that same pedestal. Now
Yeah,
let me give you an example. When I was like this person I told you I was dating before,
yeah.
it's it's so funny. I told you that God speaks to me through my dreams a lot. And when you are in an unequal relationship, you're always trying to pull the person, you're always trying to make the person as gingy as you are. So those times, sometimes I will sleep and I will have a dream, God will reveal something to me. And in the morning, I'm just like, hey, babe, how far? Do you know what I dreamt last night? And with that ginger, I'm like, see what God showed me, this, that. After I finish pouring out my revelation, Uncle will say, eh, Josephine the dreamer, you like to dream, and I would just go cold. Because when you are pouring out, when you explain to someone like something that you feel like God is showing you,
Yeah.
you want the person to match your family. Like, okay, let's pray about this. Let's ask God for more clarity. The person just like, you too the dream. And it's at those times that the Holy Spirit will just tell me, you see yourself now, they never leave you.
They have leave you.
So it's like you always just know, right? Different situations will put it to you in black and white that you and this person are not on the same pedestal. So the best thing that you can do is remove yourself from that situation. Now, I'm not even saying, oh, forget about the person. No, you can remove yourself from that situation and then pray for God to develop this person spiritually to get to the place where you are. So that when you guys now come together, nobody is pulling each other down. Right. So trust
Yeah.
me, if it's something you are considering, please stop considering it. It will not end in smiles. I don't want to say to end in tears, but it will not end in smiles.
It will continue in tears because you will cry and wait for 20 years before the Lord changes him inside that marriage. Because once you
Yeah.
get married, you are relaxed. He's no longer. Well, some ladies. The first time I heard Pastor Mildred said this, she said, Pastor Mildred Okonkwo, she said that women are like men see us as project. So when a man wants to get married, he's seen as like a project he wants to
Yeah.
accomplish. Once he's done with that thing, except he's a man
Moves
who
on to
has
the
been
next
groomed, he moves on to the next thing. So if it's not someone who
nature.
loves the Lord and who looks at you in the face and really wants and understand the purpose why he's called to
Yeah.
this marriage
Be a brand.
institution, he will leave. Even if you're trying to share something spiritual with him, like he's not getting it. And he will he will make you feel like you are the weird person. You are being too spiritual, carrying all these things on your head. And if you are a gingermite sister, you're going to struggle. So like just like Gloria mentioned, if you are even contemplating it, name my sister, I know you love him. You love him so much that you cannot leave him. But my sister, if you know what is good for you, you better ask the Holy Spirit to open the eyes of your understanding and cut you out from that thing, because the
Yeah.
hand, the hand is not always funny as well.
Yeah.
So, what's your advice for ladies who are planning to, single ladies especially, who are thinking of traveling abroad? You know, some of them might be considering, oh, would I find love? Will I? What is going to affect my Christian faith? Will I be able to get married? Will I be able to come back home? You know, like what's your advice for ladies who really want to travel abroad, who want to move to China, but they are still not sure, you know, about their relationship life? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I would just sum that up in trust God, to be honest. And I also I don't want to make it too spiritual, so I'll break it down.
Mm.
Coming to China, one of the things that I prayed, I told God that they said that these people, they're not Christians, they're no, so many things. But I told God that I want you to take me to a place where I will be surrounded by a community of believers.
I
Because
wish I had same.
I don't want to go to China and find myself, exposed. So God carefully brought me to Nanjing and
Mm.
brought me to a very, like, Nanjing Fellowship is one of the strongest in China, to be honest. And like we have NICF, so it's like I didn't miss godly fellowship. I didn't miss it for one day,
Hmm.
honestly. And I know that this is not for so many people, like they go abroad and it's like they go cold. Some people even say, oh, the reason you stopped praying when you went abroad is because the problems you're praying of in Nigeria, they've solved it.
Don't mind those things. Don't.
Devil is attacking your prayer life. You don't
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
You don't know that the devil wants to sift you like wheat.
They were
You're
not
saying
informed.
it's because you used to pray for light. And see, let me tell you, if you know the battle that you have to fight now that you are in the abroad, you even double your prayers,
Hmm.
because now you are fighting both international and local witches and wizards.
And you cross the ocean to come all those module in that's inside the ocean. And the territorial demons that are in this country, holding the gates of this
Exactly.
country, hindering you as a foreigner from eating the fruit of this land.
Exactly.
People are too casual. But I don't know why
Exactly.
Christians are too. You will not see a Muslim or a Buddhist coming and lose sight of why their faith. Your faith is what makes you as a person. Before I will
Yeah.
start preaching now, sister, please go on.
Yeah, regardless of where you are, like, pray without season, pray without borders, pray without, no matter where you are. Unless when you were back home, you used to pray for me. I wasn't a pray for daily bread. Like, there are always tangible things for you to pray for. So I was really grateful that when I came here, I had that fellowship.
Mm.
And then, oh wait, what else? As you said, coming. Okay, yes, finding love.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's why I said it's summed up in two words: trust God. So coming from Nigeria too, I dragged along a relationship that I should have ended in Nigeria. I dragged it with me to China because, of course, that's the saying. Everybody will tell you, oh, abroad there's no man. No, if you have man in Nigeria, hold him tight. Or if you had man back at home before you left the country, hold him tight. Or
Yeah.
here in abroad, we did not see man to marry. But after I got to China, I think the year was 2020. 2020 was a very transformative year for me. I don't know if it was okay. I think also because of COVID, we were indoors. Like, I mean, spiritually as well.
Yeah.
I began to encounter God like almost on a daily basis, and God was just transforming a lot of things about my life. And God was now telling me to let go of that relationship that I had dragged with me to China from
Mm.
Nigeria, right? And then I was just thinking, God, from where to where? This is a relationship of almost 3 years going to 4 years. I'm like, where am I going to start from in this China that there is COVID? Nobody is even going outside. I said, God, you know I want to marry. So honestly, no, sometimes when you're just very vulnerable, and that's actually the thing, when
Yeah.
you're vulnerable with God, okay, you don't need to be too serious with God. He knows you, he knows the innermost. So if for some of us, getting married is a desire, like some of us even want to get married quick. Although I wasn't I want to get married quick person, but
Mm.
I told God that, getting married was a desire of mine. So I didn't just know how I would start to build another relationship from scratch, but I just had to trust God. Now, I met my husband here in China, and even our meeting and the way we got married,
Yeah.
you could literally see the finger of God in it, right? So I just had to say, okay, Jesus, take the wheels. I was my own life plan. If it was my life plan, I was flowing. Probably by now I'll be in Canada because I was planning to leave China and go to Canada and go and marry that my person. Was
Yeah.
up there. So but like after God was taking me through that time of transformation, and even when I was even pursuing the Canada, He will be showing me China. I would dream, I would see myself in a place with people like with Chinese faces all around me. I'm like, this is not Canada. What is going on? You get. So
Yeah.
I literally had to just drop all my dreams, all the things that I felt like I wanted for myself, and I trusted God when it came to finding a community of believers, when it came to finding love, finding the perfect person for you, when it comes to even my career,
Mm.
right? Because at the point, I remember when I finished my master's, I actually wanted to get a job, like work for some time before I started my PhD. But God was leading me in another direction.
Mm.
All I had to do was just lead. I know that for a lot of us, we have a calendar for our lives, right? You want
Yeah.
to get married at this age, you want to do this at this age, you want to be a baller by this age. I mean, it's a general term. Everybody wants soft life, gang, right? So you
Yeah.
want to be rich and comfortable. Sister, trust God's timing, okay? God's time will even be better than that plan that you think that you have for yourself. So I feel like it's just a thing of laying down, right, your plans for God to actually lead you the way
Mm.
that He's calling you to. And trust me, God is a God of speed. The thing that the relationship that you've been driving for 10 years and you thought that it is this that will work, if you decide to surrender it to Jesus, He will just present you with your bone of your bone in even
Honestly.
less than a year.
Honestly.
So I feel like trusting God will really just do it for us.
Honestly, that's profound, and that's where the issue is. People have issues trusting, because we want to run with our time. We want to see it doing sharp, 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 sharp. But if you go sharp, sharp, you will miss out with what God has in store for you. Oh, Gloria, thank you. Thank you so much for taking your time to be on this podcast with me today, and being the vessel God has prepared for this particular task. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being so open, and this is kind of vibe and energy we want, saying them as they are within the context of the scripture, with the intention that you want to help someone, you want to bless someone. And to all of our audience who are watching this, if you have not subscribed, remember, the Lord is watching you. Do well. I don't know. It doesn't bite. Do well to subscribe. And also, on the screen, I'll be linking down her, both on the screen and in the description box. I'll be linking down our guest, her YouTube channel link, and also her social media handles as well. Please do well to follow her. You will learn a lot, and she has such a beautiful daughter and a handsome husband. He's not entering my house because I have my own man, please. But she has such a beautiful family that we all admire. Gloria, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for choosing to do this. And this is where we'll be pegging it for today. I don't know what are your final words for our viewers before we call it a day.
Yeah, I just want to say I just want to say thank you so much, Ifeoma, for having me on your podcast. I see what you're doing. I just keep going, girl. Keep going. The sky is your starting point. I know that it may look small right now, but trust me, God is calling you to nations. And I don't want you to be distracted by what the results you're getting right now, right? Because it's way more than what you're seeing now. So just keep doing what you're doing. You might think that nobody is watching, but trust me, you have been called to nations, and you won't end small. Okay,
Amen.
so I also I watch your the podcast. I watch other guests on the channel. So I just want to encourage everybody to continue to stay tuned to this channel and to follow what he has to offer. If you want to develop yourself, register for the Pruned Woman. Just grow yourself, right? There are so many things that you need to develop yourself into that dream woman of yours. And trust me, Ifeoma Nnalue can help you with that. So you guys just keep the vibes going, keep the Christian vibes going.
Keep it going. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate, honestly. And I think I've taken this revelation out that God is calling us to nations, and nations, here we are coming.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We'll be discussing after this so that you tell me how we go about surprising this my husband. I'll still come and watch this podcast and now come and say that we want to surprise him.
No problem.
It's all right. So, viewers, thank you so much for pegging, for tagging along all this while I'm watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you have any questions, any topic you would like us to discuss on this podcast that is a concern to you, do well to send them to the email on the screen or type them in the comment section or send them to my inbox. And do not forget to please visit our guest YouTube channel. You will love the contents there. Also follow her on all of our social media handles that are also displayed on the screen. And until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and remember, Jesus is coming soon. Bye bye.